Welcome back to the Draw Fair to Green podcast. We've been off a couple weeks here due to the holidays, but hopefully everyone enjoyed their holidays. Brian, kind of the dull period of golf here. I know the PGA Tour kicks off in a weekend here, and then the LPGA kicks off in 2 weekends here. But we do have the TGL that started. Have you been watching?
Unfortunately, I have not been watching. I know the season just started, but maybe if football isn't on, I'll consider watching some TGL. No offense, but if I'm in the golf mood, I'll turn on some TGL.
Yeah, I mean, so today we're recording this Tuesday, so the third match just finished up, and Atlanta Drive 2-0. They're the defending champs. That's a team comprised of Justin Thomas, Billy Horschel, Lucas Glover, and Patrick Cantley. So they're 2-0 on the year. They beat the New York Golf Club in their first match. And the second match last week, Rory McIlroy's team, Boston Common Golf, defeated the LA Golf Club. So again, not little fun golf to have when there's not really a tournament going on. It's fun to watch these players interact with each other at a different level. Having them mic'd up, I think, is really cool. The simulator golf is fine. It's once you get past the hitting in a simulator, it's okay. Some of the new holes they introduced this year are pretty cool. Watching them hit different shots.
Did you see the one where like the cliff over front of it, they had to hit like a stinger through it?
Yeah, so the I watched the first week and Xander teed off for his team. He hit the rock, bounced in the water, and then I think it was Cameron Young hit for his team, and he hit the rock and it bounced 50 yards back. So I mean, it's fun. It's kind of gimmicky, but it's fun to see. The green and the chipping is kind of cool with the circulating green that's always moving.
That is really cool.
They did change the putting surface this year, so it's a little slower for the players and more putts have been made. So that should be an interesting develop over the year or over the season. But yeah, three matches in. Again, throw it on here and there. Today was Monday. It's on different days of the week. But good to see some of the players that you don't normally see. Um, Over in the world of Live, though, we've had some interesting couple headlines come out of here. Obviously, the biggest one coming out for Live is Brooks Koepka leaving and has nowhere to play right now. Is it back to the PGA Tour? The PGA Tour released a statement saying at this time he's a great major champion winner, but he is not going to be playing on the PGA Tour. I don't really know what is next for Brooks Koepka's career right now.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens to Brooks Koepka. As a golf fan, I want to see the highest level of golf with the best players in the world playing on in majors and hopefully the PGA Tour because Live Golf hasn't really been the best quality of golf in my opinion. I don't think allowing Brooks Koepka back yet, like I feel like he didn't learn his lesson or really anything. Like he really had no punishment if he gets to leave the Live Golf after collecting all of that money from the Saudi Arabian government essentially, and now he gets to come back on the PGA Tour with no repercussions. I think letting him in right now would kind of just defeat everything the PGA Tour fought for. So maybe you give him, a couple, maybe even like a few months. Like I don't know really what to do actually. Like I would, what do you think, Nathan? What do you think should happen here?
Yeah, part of me as the golf fan wants Brooks Koepka in. I think I've been trying to read things and what other people are saying, and I think one of the solutions is if the PGA Tour does let him come back, he's got to pay the fine and all that stuff. He obviously cannot be in the signature events. That's the one thing. He has to be treated like he finished like 85th on the FedEx Cup list. He cannot just be granted spots into the signature events. He has to be one of those players that finished outside the top 70 because those signature events are very hard to get into, and now you're just letting him go in without even qualifying. So I think I would start there. If they don't want him, I know he's played on the DP World Tour before when he first started his career, and that's how he earned his card. Maybe he goes back and does that and is one of the top 10 finishers on the DP World Tour and gets his PGA Tour card that way. Now, again, if he didn't want to do the traveling for Live, he want to spend more time with family and all that. Does he really want to go play in Europe for 20 some odd weeks a year? Probably not. Now, he could bank on playing in the four majors and playing maybe 12 other DP World Tour events and maybe gets into the top 10 that way. But I don't know. So I do think at some point he should be let back on. Does he sit a year and then he comes back. And again, if he comes back, he can't be into the signature events. He has to earn his way back into those.
No, I definitely agree with the signature events. They were created to reward the players who didn't defect to live golf. So I think letting Kepka into those is just kind of like a what did the players who stayed really get? And I don't know. You can say what you want about the signature events, but at the end of the day, like it is more money for top players just for being good at golf. So I mean, it's what it is.
Yeah, I know it's tough, and for Brooks leaving, I don't know how much that affects the live audience. I know Bryson is in talks of contract negotiations. Rahm just signed there 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure DJ signed some extension this year. Um, as far as his team, Taylor Gooch was named captain, so there's no problem there. They're still missing a fourth. So right now on their team website, they only have three. But with the rumors of today with Thomas Dietrich of the PGA Tour and Elvis Smiley, one of the younger DP World Tour players who played well this season, they are now joining Live. I read that Thomas Dietrich is going to be joining the Four Aces team with Dustin Johnson, Thomas Peters, and Patrick Reed, and Harold Varner, who was on the Four Aces, is going to get traded to the Brooks Koepka's team. I think it's like Smashers GC or something. So yeah, a lot moving on. Victor Perez, also PGA Tour player, he left for Live a couple of weeks ago. That was announced. And then Laurie Cantor, who again, I don't think I've talked about this with you. I think I mentioned it on another podcast. Has a wild story. He was on Live, got relegated last year, earned his PGA Tour card via the DP World Tour Top 10, and then turned down his PGA Tour card to re-sign with Live. So wild. Like,
Least ethical golfer maybe ever. Does not do it for the love of the game.
yeah. So that would be interesting. I was really interested in seeing if the PGA Tour was going to let Laurie Cantor play because he was on Live, and then he would have been the first person to play from Live on the PGA Tour. Now he was never had PGA Tour status, so he was never suspended like the other players. So I think he would have just played like normal, like everyone else who earned their PGA Tour card via the DP World Tour. But I was really interested in seeing how that would work out.
No, I think that is very interesting. I think they would let him play. I mean, I don't see why not. He earned it for sure. Like you said, he didn't defect. So
Yeah, so I know those new players have joined Live, and I know this weekend for the Live they have their Live Golf promotions, which is kind of like the PJ Tour Q School. They have three spots up for grab, and I think something like 80 plus golfers are in the field, and the top three will get wild card spots into the Live Golf season next year. So each week, Live Golf now with their expanded field, they expanded from 53 players to 57. They're going to have all of their teams. So I think there's 13 teams. All four golfers play. And then they were going to have five wild card players. So Anthony Kim making his comeback, he was one of the wild card players. He lost his status. So now he's in the Live Golf promotion tournament to try to get back his Live Golf status. So some interesting things going on. Obviously, they switched to 72 holes. They're still in the process of the official world golf ranking application, all that stuff. Trevor Ilmerman, now the chair.
there's a lot of stuff
It's
going on over there.
yeah, and
Not a lot of
honestly,
stability.
yeah, the new CEO, all that. Again, it has lasted longer than I thought. When it first came, I thought it'd be dead by now. So I guess kudos to them for lasting this many years. They've poached a lot of big name stars. I mean, DeChambeau, Rahm, Hatton, Dustin Johnson, Koepka, like we said, all major winners and all left. And they've had success. Bryson DeChambeau has won a major since leaving. Like he's been good. Tyrrell Hatton's been good in the majors. So
Koepka, Rom.
Rom been disappointed, but again, it's worked for some of them, and some of them it hasn't. Dustin Johnson's kind of just fallen off, and he was one of the best players of the generation. He went there, and he's just been average at best. So yeah, it's an interesting time. Again, I've read Roy McIlroy tweets. He's like, just let him come back and play. Other people, I think, other players are kind of, I think, sick of it and just either play or merge. I don't know what's going to happen. This merger seems less likely as the weeks go on. Um, But yeah, Live Golf is maybe in some shambles with Koepka leaving. I do know for a fact that the other day while I was watching football, I saw a Masters commercial, and that means major season right around the corner, a couple months here down in Augusta, Georgia. So right now, Brian, I think it's time for our major previews of the 2026 PGA Tour season, and we're gonna start with the granddaddy of them all, the Masters, obviously, Augusta, Georgia, Augusta National, the defending champ, Rory McIlroy, uh, completed the career Grand Slam after years of chasing it. Great tournament, playoff win over Justin Rose. Felt a little bad for Justin Rose, but he lost to Rory McIlroy, so I'm okay with it. I will give you the five betting favorites for this tournament, and then we will get into your pick. So the first plus 300, Scotty Scheffler, makes a ton of sense. Second, Rory McIlroy, plus 500, defending champ, plays well there. Xander Schauffele, the third, at plus
Wow.
1100, always plays well there. Last year I picked him to win, had his worst finish there in about 5 years, so maybe a jinx by me. Hopefully he bounces back. Bryson DeChambeau at fourth, plus 1200. John Rahm, former Masters champion, fifth at 1400. Um, those five players, kind of the five best players in the world right now. You can maybe substitute Rahm for someone else, maybe Fleetwood in there. But again, a lot of the favorites will be Scotty going for his third green jacket, coming off a great year again. Who do you have for the Masters in April?
Okay, so I promise the rest of my picks will not be this boring. I promise. I have I'm gonna go with Scotty Scheffler. I promise the only time I'm picking him though. I just think that Augusta National just suits Scotty's game perfectly. The short game, everything. It's kind of like Scotty Scheffler's playground. Like realistically, I don't really know who. I mean, he didn't win last year, but I don't know if Scotty Scheffler is gonna lose
Now,
again this year. However, if I'm not gonna be boring, I'm gonna pick Bryson DeChambeau, which is a little less boring, but
yeah, I mean, he
considering he's
played
like
in
the
that final
fourth
group with
best.
Rory.
But I mean, Bryson DeChambeau, I think he's talked about how I think he's mentioned how he just loves the Masters the most out of all the four. I mean, I think a lot of people would have to say that the Masters is their favorite. He's had hit the par 67 comments we all know from a few years
Yeah.
back. If par 67, you might have a pretty good chance, Bryson. But no, I think Bryson, if he puts it all together, I know he's had a couple strong like Thursday, Fridays, and that's last year actually he was up
Yeah.
there with Rory. But if he puts it all
Yeah.
together, I think Bryson could have a chance to take home the green jacket. Who do you have, Nathan?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do it again, and hopefully it doesn't burn my bridge again. And I'm going with Xander. I know last year I think part of it was his oblique was bothering him for the first half of the year. But again, he has five top tens in his last seven starts at the Masters. I mean, the man just plays well at Augusta, and there's no hole in his game. I've talked about it before. We've talked about it before. He may be the most complete golfer outside of Scotty Scheffler on tour, and he's kind of starting to regain that form. We saw it at the end of last year. He won the Zozo over in Japan, was probably the second or third best American on the Ryder Cup. And I think he's in for a bounce back year. He's a two-time major winner the year before, so that's why I was picking him at the Masters last year. I do think it'll be him, and it's hard to go against Scotty. I think does Scotty win last year if he doesn't cut his hand making his own ravioli on Christmas? Maybe. Like it's such a wild thing to think about that he won five times with pretty much not winning till June or May was it at the
Yeah,
PGA.
he didn't come back till what, March, and then like
Yeah,
he wasn't
exactly.
playing golf. He needed a
Yeah,
couple some
in
time.
those stretches he misses golf tournaments, he dominates at like the Phoenix Open and Bay Hill, and right. So like if he's healthy, like yes, Scotty is the boring pick, but also I think I saw his over under for wins this year, and I think the one sports book I was looking at was at like 7.5. That is
That's
a wild
unbelievable.
number. You like would I possibly put some money to bet on the over? Yep, I would because he's Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The dark horse pick, I'm Ludwig Oberg. It would be a sneaky one. He's played
I
well
was
there.
thinking him too.
He
Is
he
this
was
is this the year he puts it
yeah,
together at the top?
he was bad at the Ryder Cup. He was kind of disappointing last year. But he's played well there before. He hits the ball a mile. If he can just putt well, I think he could be a sneaky contender there. Um, we're going to move on to the PGA Championship at Aronimink Golf Club just outside Philadelphia. This one's in May, and this has held multiple tournaments before. It held the 1962 PGA Championship where Gary Player won. Most
Okay.
recently, it held the 2018 BMW Championship. Keegan Bradley won that. Again, that was 2018. Gil Hanse renovated this golf course in 2020 or in 2018. So it's a good golf course. It's a long golf course. So I think it's going to favor some bombers. Defending champ last year was Scotty at Quail Hollow. Again, the five favorites, betting favorites are Scotty at plus 350, Rory at plus 650, Bryson at 1,000, Rahm plus 1,200, Xander plus 1,800. So the same five betting favorites from the Masters, just in a different order for here at the PGA Championship. And again, it's going to be tough. This one, again, not many players have played it. Unless you were on tour in 2018, most players probably haven't seen it. I know some maybe got to look at it last year when there was a tournament up there in Philadelphia. The Truist was up there around Aronimink, so I know some players went over there and scouted it. But it's kind of a shot in the dark here. I'm going with the best bomber out there in Bryson. I think Bryson at a long golf course just has a major advantage. He's played well at PGA Championships before, four top fives in his last six starts at a PGA Championship. Again, he competed with Xander down the stretch at Valhalla 2 years ago. Xander got him with the birdie on the last hole. So yeah, I think Bryson picks off this major this year.
Yeah, I did not go with a bomber for my pick. I also didn't want to pick Bryson possibly again, but I'm actually going with Tommy Fleetwood on this one. Yes, it is a little bit boring. However, he did win. He won the Tour Championship last year. He got that breakthrough win. He wins the DP World Tour. Great in the Ryder Cup. So I think Tommy Fleetwood's gonna get his first major here. And then for not really a dark horse. Yeah, I'm a little boring, but I'm going with JJ Spawn. Doesn't really hit the ball that far, but I said it last year. I'll say it again. I'm going to continue to say it. JJ Spawn is the most underrated golfer on tour. And I think JJ Spawn, I think he'll have a good, and I don't want to pick him to win the US Open again. So we're going with JJ Spawn and no, Tommy Fleetwood. And then, if you're allowing me a second pick, I can go with JJ Spawn.
Yeah, I like it. I came close as my pick to being Cam Young.
Yes.
Just winning the Wyndham last year, playing great at the Ryder Cup. If he continues to putt at the level he putted last year with his distance, I think we're talking about a breakout player this year. I think now getting that monkey off his back and being one of the guys at the Ryder Cup, like I think you can kind of see like kind of how Scotty had that run right after he was good at the Ryder Cup and defeated Rahm when he was young, and then all of a sudden started winning. I'm not saying Young's going to turn into Scotty, but if he picks off two or three wins this year, would not surprise me at all.
No, not at all. I actually have him later on. I actually have him at the US Open, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I mean, next on the list is the U.S. Open. So again, Shinnecock Hills, the 2018 U.S. Open was here. Brooks Koepka, one of his five majors there. Bill Coore, Ben Crenshaw design. Very tough golf course. Tommy Fleetwood shot a 62 in that final round to finish second to Koepka. Again, defending champ here at the U.S. Open. JJ Spawn won last year at Oakmont.
Man.
Great victory for him. Difficult golf course this year at Shinnecock Hills. Also a difficult golf course. They're going to grow out that fescue, that rough. It's going to be tough. Again, the betting favorites, Scotty at 320, Rory at 650, Bryson at plus 1,000, Rahm at 1,400, Xander at 1,800. Again, same five, different order. Seems like the sports books are onto something, just picking the five best golfers. But you have Cam Young,
I
Brian.
do. This kind of building off of last year where Cam Young, great season at the end of the season, played very well in the playoffs, Ryder Cup, arguably probably one of the best US players. So I've got Cam Young, and then if you're gonna allow me a second pick again, I'm gonna go with Victor Hovland. I think Victor Hovland is extremely streaky and hit or miss. Like he's either,
Yeah.
he's up the top three in the world, on his hot streaks. But then if he's not putting well or his short game's not there, he's gonna miss the cut. So
Yeah.
Victor Hovland is on the list along with Cam Young.
Yeah, I'd say Victor was good at the Ryder Cup, and Cam Young, I'm with you. I think he's just a great player. Um, Long Island kid, so not too far away from home. Maybe get a little home cooking, sleep in his own bed a couple of days there. Could be the difference. My pick, again, it's low hanging fruit. But I got to do it. I have to pick him once this year. I didn't pick him at all last year, and he won twice, two majors. I'm going with Scotty Scheffler to complete the career Grand
The
Slam.
career slam.
Yep, on Father's Day, we know he's so big into his family. And again, it's such a tough golf course. He has such an advantage because he's the best ball striker, best drive, like all of it. Again, I think he is going to win one of the majors this year, and I'm going to pick this one. I think he'll be up for the test. I think achieving that career Grand Slam is something that I don't think he'll talk about too much, but I think deep down in him, he's very competitive, and I think he wants it. And to do it here, I mean, it's a pretty iconic golf course. It's not Augusta like what Rory did last year, but on Father's Day to complete your career Grand Slam, I think Scotty is going to be up there in contention to complete his career Grand Slam that day.
I mean, that would be insane. What is that, 4 years or something, or 5 years since he won
Yeah,
the
I think I
Masters?
think
So
2022 was his first Masters win. So yeah,
that's
it'd have to
ridiculous.
be it wouldn't be the quickest because of Tiger, but it'd
And
be up there with the
some guy
quickest.
named Tiger Woods might have that record.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my dark horse here, it's tough because I've picked him in the past before to win big, and he's kind of disappointing in majors. Um, I think I'm gonna go, and I may regret saying this. I think my dark horse would be Patrick Cantlay. He's just
Again,
one of the steady golfers, and he doesn't get too frustrated. And I think at a place like Shinnecock Hills where you can get real mad at yourself in the golf course, I think that is important. And he played well down the stretch last year, and I think it's time for him to play better in the majors because it's been disappointing so far.
I agree with you. I think he's that kind of guy that can just hang around while things are going rough for a lot of people. He can just hang around, and then towards Sunday, as we saw in the BMW a few years ago, he'll just start making these putts. And what do you know? Patrick Cantlay is the top of the leaderboard. Like it's certainly a possibility.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think I'm excited to see the golf course. 2018, I don't remember it too much. I just remember it being pretty difficult. If it gets windy or rainy there, like it's going to be tough. Those Hampton golf courses, man, are challenging. But again, I think it's a great test of golf, and I like the U.S. Open being difficult. I liked Oakmont being difficult. I
Oh
think
yeah,
what Spawn finished at -1,
yeah.
and he only finished at -1 because he drained a 30-foot putt on the 72nd hole for birdie. Like
Only guy
I
under
love.
par. Actually, only guy to finish even or better, I think. So
Yeah, so I love the difficult courses. I know people are like, well, I want to see him make birdies. Go watch a normal PGA
yeah,
tournament. This
right.
is the
Make the
U.S.
players
Open.
look human. Come on.
Yeah, this is the U.S. Open, so I want the tough challenges. So I think it'll be fun. And then we will head on to our last major. The last major of the year is the Open Championship. One of the my favorite ones, I think maybe my second favorite one to watch because you never know with the wind. It is at Royal Birkdale in England this year. This is home of the 2017 Open Championship where Jordan Spieth won his one major there. This is famous for, I don't know if you remember the Jordan Spieth ruling where he was like on the driving range and it took him 20, 30 minutes. He was trying to hit over grandstands and all this. Wild scene. He ended up winning. But again, it's the 11th Open Championship this course is hosted. So it's a pretty historic course. Going all the way back, I think the first one's like 1896 or something. So pretty cool. The betting favorites, Scotty at plus 300, Rory at plus 650, Rahm at 1100, Fleetwood 1400, Xander at 1600. So Fleetwood is the new entry into that. No Bryson, who just seems to not play well at the Open Championship. Um, but again, there's going to be some conflicting picks here, I think. I think some people are going to go with some hometown people. I am going to be one of those people, and I'm going to pick an English golfer. Now, I don't think you're going to realize, but I'm not going with the English golfer that everyone thinks. I'm not going to pick Tommy Fleetwood. I'm not picking Haddon. I'm picking Matt Fitzpatrick.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's a
US Open winner who has been one of the best players in the world the last 6 months of last year. He's finished off the strong Ryder Cup performance with playing well over on the DP World Tour. I think being from England, I think maybe he has some course knowledge some other people don't. He knows how to play in that type of weather. He's just a good golfer. He's not the longest. I know he gained some distance over the years, but at the Open Championship, you can throw all the distance out the window. It
yeah.
rolls so much. Give me Matt Fitzpatrick to win his second career major.
All right, all right. I was actually thinking along your lines. I did not actually go with someone from England. I went with country just north of them, and I went with Robert McIntyre for my pick.
Love
I
it.
think Robert McIntyre. I'm a kind of a critic of Robert McIntyre, although I do think he's a
You
great
kind of
player. I just
are. This is a shocking pick.
Right, I know. I think like when he's in America, like in the Ryder Cup year, I was like, oh, the American fans are gonna give it to him. Like, maybe not all like, sometimes he get a little rattled, but I think in England for the Open, Robert McIntyre, he was took I think he was runner up in the US Open last year. So I
Yeah.
think he could have a very good shot here. And then for my dark horse, I'm going with Marco Penge. He
Mm,
had, I think, 3 wins in the DP World Tour last year.
yeah.
So career trending upwards. Why not? You know?
Yeah, you kind of stole my dark horse. Like I think my dark horse would have been Robert McIntyre. As a fellow lefty golfer, I love the lefty golfers. He's played well. Obviously, he's from Europe, so he understands the conditions. A sneaky good pick. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he competed there at all either. My dark horse, again, I don't know how much of a dark horse this is, because he's a known name. He just hasn't done well in the most recent years. But for some reason, Colin Morikawa, his name is just sticking out to me. He's won an Open Championship before. Again, he kind of fits a profile like Fitzpatrick, not the longest hitter, good ball striker. He can get streaky with his putter. If he gets streaky and gets going, he can make some birdies. So I think he would be one. He played not too bad at the Ryder Cup, but I think he hasn't won in years. Again, sneaky one. I don't know if it will happen, but if he was contending at a couple majors this year or getting a couple wins just on the PGA Tour, I wouldn't be shocked about him
No,
because he's just too good of a player
yeah,
to
he's
have
too
this.
talented to just keep
Yes.
doing what he's been doing. Like,
Yeah. And again, it's a good career, but he's not a good career guy. He is a major winner, and it's he's kind of in the same boat as Cantley. They haven't won a lot in the past couple of years. So it's time, like, can they regain their form to top 10 players in the world?
yeah.
We'll see. So real quick, I'm gonna review my picks. You can review your picks. So for the Masters, I have Xander Schauffele, the PGA Championship. I have Bryson DeChambeau, U.S. Open, Scotty Scheffler. My Open Championship winner is Matt Fitzpatrick.
Okay, and then I've got Masters, Scotty Scheffler, PGA, Tommy Fleetwood, US Open, Cam Young, and then the Open, Robert McIntyre. I have my secondary picks, but we'll just go with one because
Yeah, now last year I did this and I predicted no major winners, right? Well, I did predict Rory, but Rory won at the Masters. I thought he was going to win the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. So I guess I'll give myself half a win for that. But my other picks did not come close at all. So hopefully this year a little better with my projections. But we'll see. Come again, April Masters, just a couple months away as the weather starts to break. Here, not so much in New York, but down south, I keep seeing some golf being played. So I'm getting ready. That first Masters commercial again hit different on Sunday while I was watching the football, while I was staring at the snow. Just ready for some nice warm golf and the azaleas and that Masters music. Now that our major predictions are out of the way, let's talk about some breakout players. So last year we kind of saw JJ Spawn and Ben Griffin break out. Like, So someone, I guess you could pick maybe a player who is returning to form, like a Jordan Spieth. I went with some breakout players, but Brian, who do you think will break out on PGA Tour this year?
Okay, so I have two players. One's kind of an older guy who's been around for a while, and then I've got a younger like breakout player. So I've got Billy Horschel as my first guy. I know he's on the older side of guys on the PGA Tour, but he got hurt, wasn't playing his best, but he came back towards the end of last year and was playing
Yeah.
some pretty good golf on the PGA Tour and then the DP World Tour. So I think Billy Horschel can turn around, have a good season this year. And I'd like to. He seems like well, I know
Yeah.
he's had his moments, but he does seem like a good family guy, sure.
I like his the fieriness. I think the best thing about TGL has been one of the best ones is Billy Horschel is just having him mic'd up is just he's so darn competitive. It is great to watch, especially the TGL now that I can hear his conversations, how serious he takes it. Yeah, the hip, I think he had like hip labrum surgery last year, which is
Pretty
almost like a
serious
death
injury.
sentence to a golfer's career, any hip injury. So yeah, to see him bounce back would be great because I know the year before that he won a couple times. Kind of had a mini bounce back 2 years ago and then got hurt again. So yeah, I like that pick. I think going with someone who's had success. I think when he plays well, I think the PGA Tour is just better because of the character he is. My
Nice.
guy is far from an old veteran. I'm actually going with Johnny Kiefer. And now, if you don't know that name, it is
I
because he has never played on the PGA Tour. He is the Korn Ferry Tour Player of the Year. He won. I think 2 times last year, had 7 other top 10 finishes on the Korn Ferry Tour. So he's a leading point getter. He was 50th in the world before playing some fall events. I think he did get 2 or 3 fall events in. So now he's 48th ranked player in the world. So he's into the Masters. He's into the Players Championship and the US Open by finishing first on the Korn Ferry Tour point list. So again, young guy made his way on the Korn Ferry Tour, played on PGA Tour, the Fortinet Cup up in Canada. Again, good player, young player. The only problem I could see with him is he's never played these courses before. And not playing these courses before is tough, especially when you're going against guys who's played here 3, 4 times. So you know where to miss, you know where to hit it on the green, you know you can't short side yourself here at this hole. So that could be the problem with picking a PGA Tour rookie. But I think he's a very good golfer, and these young players have just had so much success early on that I think if he goes out and competes, and he may not win, but if he can get finished in the top 70 of the FedEx Cup and get to the playoffs or get in the top 50 and get into those signature events for next year, that would be a successful first year for him.
Certainly. He's definitely got the skill, he's got the game to win. Obviously, it's being first place in the Korn Ferry Tour. Obviously, you have game. You are playing against other professional golfers. So being in the first place there, I mean, excellent achievement. And then transition to the PGA Tour, as you said, he has not played these courses before, but if the guy's good enough, he's got it. So I think, it's just a matter of fact, like, can he get it done on the PGA Tour? I know maybe playing with some of these guys, like maybe it's a mental thing, like who knows? Like I'm going up against Scotty Scheffler every week. Like, I mean, everyone else has to do that. It's kind of like
Yeah.
a Scotty Scheffler, but if he's got the game, sure. Like, I don't see why not.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see who's your second breakout player for the year.
My second player, I know he kind of had a like I wouldn't say breakout last year, but like was certainly a very good player last year, but was Maverick McNeely.
Mm,
He's 26th last year in putting, strokes gained, 48th in approach, but around the greens, he just was not. I mean, he really needs improvement there. I mean, scrambling, he was 128th in strokes gained, and then sand saves 148th. So
yeah.
definitely need to spend some time in the offseason just get with the wedge in hand, just every day, just going out there. But I'm sure he
Yeah, I
is.
know.
But
He's a good putter. He was
yeah,
kind
so yeah,
of
definitely. I mean, he was in
yeah.
the Ryder Cup conversation, so he's a very good player. But
Yeah.
I think he has the talent. He can go even further than what he was last year. So I guess he's like I was thinking more of a Ben Griffin kind of guy who's good, but like just needs to take the
Yeah.
jump. And I think
Yeah.
I think Maverick McNeely could do that.
Yeah, I think he's a good player. I wouldn't call him a snub. I know some people are like, "Oh, he should have been on the Ryder Cup team." I was one of them that I didn't think he should. I think he's one of the guys that probably needs to be in a President's Cup to kind of feel that environment first and then go. Because again, he's a great putter, and that just plays in match play. I mean, that's always going to be his strength.
Yes.
Again, not the longest hitter, but a great putter. And if you can putt well, and if he can just get average at some other things, like average it around the green, you're not asking him to get from 120 to 8. You just get to 70. Just be PGA Tour average, and that will help significantly. Became a dad a couple months ago, I read, and the most interesting thing about Maverick Murray, he's a pilot. He flies his own planes.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, really strange. I was reading about this. I think I saw his post the other day on Instagram and I started reading about it. Yeah, he has a pilot license and he flies planes all over. I know he's a Cali guy. So yeah, so interesting little fun fact about Maverick Vignera there. My other breakout player, another young guy who has some accolades. He was first on the PGA Tour U a couple years ago. Michael Thorborn Bornson, Stanford grad. Very good young player. I think he's 23, 24. He's been on the PGA Tour now, I think a season and a half. Last year was his first full season. And again, being the rookie, it's kind of tough. He did well. He had five top tens. Not the best. He did play some in the fall. I think he finished third in a fall event and seventh in another one. So he's played well. He played in the TGL the other night. He was kind of the star of that match between Boston Common
I
and
did see some highlights
LA
of him
Golf.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he made everything on the greens. And if that is a sign to what this year is going to be for him, is that needs to be the biggest improvement of his game. Like you were saying, I think I looked it up. He was 144th strokes gain on the green.
Wow. Yikes.
That's and then okay, so that's the wild stat. Then you look at his driving, sixth, driving distance sixth, driving accuracy was up there. So again, great driver of the ball, hits it far, but right now he's a not a great putter.
No.
Again, if he can make that, I'm not asking him to become the best putter in the world. I'm not asking him to become Denny McCarthy or anything. If he can become the 70th ranked putter in the world or 60th best putter in the world, I think some wins will come his way. Again, he won at Stanford. He was atop the PGA Tour U standings. He's played well. He's shown well in PGA Tour events. He has top finishes. Now, again, I think the next step is winning, and I'm curious to see if some of this TGL stuff, like he's on a team with Keegan Bradley and Rory McIlroy for TGL. I mean, just the things he's going to pick up and learn from two of great veteran players. I think it's interesting to see if he can connect that to the actual PGA Tour and actual golf courses. We'll see. But I think I picked him a couple times this fall in my preview articles for some of these fall events because he's just so good. But I think he's young and still trying to figure it out. Again, playing on these golf courses a couple times, ironing some things out with that short game and putting, and I think he could definitely have an impact. And he'd be a sneaky guy again, one of these young guys that maybe makes the President's Cup team at the end of the year. All right, it's the President's Cup year. Like I know it's not as big as the Ryder Cup, but like some of these young guys who are seeing the Ryder Cup and how bad the U.S. has been recently, like if you're a Luke Clanton, Michael Thorbjornsen, like even Nick Dunlap, like if you try to get on that President's Cup team and make a name for yourself in team golf and USA team golf, like I think that's a big step on getting onto that Ryder Cup team in 2027. But again, we'll see. I think I like your pick of Maverick and Neely, and I love the Billy Horschel pick. I'm a big Billy Horschel guy.
No, I think Billy Horschel will show everyone what they've been missing out on the last year or two. Injuries injuries are very unlucky, but a healthy Billy Horschel is a force.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Gator chomp and all that, I think it's great. As we wrap up here, I think the one last piece of news that I want to talk about is TM was it TMRW Sports and the LPGA have signed an agreement or come to an agreement to create a women's TGL, so WTGL. So it's not going to start till next winter. I think they said winter of 26, 27. So probably around this time next year is when they'll start. Again, it's going to be pretty much the exact same thing as a TGL, just women golfers. I think it will be interesting because some of these women's golfers, you see them play and then you don't see them again. And now with the expanded coverage of the LPGA Tour that's coming this season, I think you're going to get to know some of these golfers more. And then when you get them on mics and in a less crowded environment with only three or four of them and they're talking with each other, I think it's great. I think it's going to be great because I think people are going to see how international the LPGA is. I think that's going to be a very fascinating thing of how these teams are made. Like, again, like
Or
some of
team
these.
competition would be so fun.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do countries. I would love it. That
That would
would
be
be a
great. I would be
sneaky
watching that.
great
I would
league. Yeah, you get like Team Thailand with like
Team
Gino. You get Team
Japan,
USA with Nelly. You get Team
Australia,
Japan with
Rarick.
Miyu Yamashita. Like I think the country thing would be a fantastic idea. I don't know if they'll do it. But again, I think it's just another way to get these stars out there in front of the public, show them how good they are. Again, I think more exposure to the women's game will be great. I think just women are getting into the game of golf more. I think that's an expanding market, and I think it's an exciting time to be an LPGA Tour fan right now.
Oh, certainly. The LPGA is so talented, so young. You got all last year. You had all these names come up, win tournaments. Miyu Yamashita, all these really good young players come up, and they're very good. And as you said, it'd be really interesting to see what the personalities of them, because you see them on the course, but maybe if you're following loosely, you don't really see how they interact, how like the competitiveness, the personalities, all
Yeah.
that stuff. But like the LPGA has been making some very good strides the last 6 months, with the new coverage and
Mhm.
now like the WTGL thing. So now you've got all this extra coverage on the women's golf, and it's fantastic. I think these players deserve all the recognition. They deserve to shine because they are amazing.
Yeah, I give me Charlie Hall mic'd up once a week, like playing competitive golf game. Yeah, sign me up.
Oh, she is
I
the number one
need to hear
person.
Charlie. Yes, she's
She'll
like
be
the
there.
Billy Horschel, like that bulldog. Like she's gonna talk. I think she's gonna be sneaky competitive. I think that will be. I would. Yeah, I Charlie Hall. She needs to be one of the captains of the team because
Mhm.
I need her mic'd up just to hear what she says. I think it will be great. I'd be interested to see how some of these stars, like I don't know, like Nelly Korda, like again, Scotty Scheffler isn't in TGL. So will Nelly Corder join? Will Gino join? Like again, it'll be interesting. Like I think maybe Scotty will join TGL at some point. I don't know. So it'll be see what women they get, how many they get. I think on the guys side, on the TGL, I think there's six teams, maybe if I'm right. So do they start with four teams maybe? I don't know. Again, you could do the country thing and you can have six, eight teams, no problem with
They
countries. So
had
that'd
they
be
had a,
fascinating to see.
they had the event last year on the LPGA Tour with
Yeah,
the
that crown.
yeah,
Yeah,
in
it'd be
like
great. Yeah,
Korea. So just
yeah,
run it back with just
yeah,
similar players and simulator. We will all be there. Everyone
yeah.
will be
Exactly.
watching.
I think it would be great. I love the country idea. Like the WTGL needs to call us, and we'll get the team set for
Oh
them.
yeah, we can do that. Just send the check our way. We'll get it done.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I kind of did it in the one podcast, so I got a list somewhere in my notes here that I could give them just here. These four players on these teams. Again, maybe some of the teams would be a little more unfair than other. Like Canada, Brooke Henderson. Like I don't know who else is playing with her, but Brooke Henderson's good. You get a couple other good
We can make
Canadians.
it like rest of the world team. I think that's what they
Yeah, I
did
think
on.
that's what I
They
did
what
with
they
her.
did.
Yeah, I think yeah. So I mean, it would be USA would be good, and you got Nelly Korda leading the way. Obviously, Gino with her country in Thailand, they got some good golf. So yeah, I think the country. I think maybe we should switch the TGL to the country thing too. Just get both, get more international. I mean, that'd be fun to see. I mean, some of the live golf teams, like I think Joaquin Neiman's live golf team is all Spanish guys, like all Hispanic Latin America guys, and I know
I know
Sergio's
he yeah
team
he
is
recruited
all.
Mito Pereira. I know that. So
Yeah, he retired. That's another one. Yeah, that's a shocking one. But
really,
like,
wow, what a fall for
yeah,
Mito Pereira. Goodness.
yeah, it's in. I saw them like he's 29. He probably got, I would say, north of 10 million to join Live. So go retire nicely in Colombia. But yeah, it would be interesting. I know like Sergio Garcia's team over at Live is all guys from Spain. So something like that may be on the horizon for WGL. We'll see. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, no events this week on any of the tours. Next week, the PGA Tour kicks off at the Sony Open. So we'll preview that next week, next Tuesday or Wednesday. Again, like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a shout out there. Again, subscribe, comment, all that. Follow us along on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get those podcasts. go check our website, Fair to Green. As the seasons get going, we'll have more previews and recaps and news and all that stuff for coming up. And with the PGA show coming here in 2 weeks, we'll have a lot of great interviews from different brands, from different golf brands, golf club manufacturers, golf apparel manufacturers, and stuff like that. So go check us out. Thanks for listening. Brian, good to be back. Hopefully you had a good holidays. We'll talk about the PGA Tour and LPGA Tour next week.